The city of Levelland is one step closer to bringing an ordinance before its council regarding the storage of agricultural commodities. It hosted a town hall tonight to hear from residents on what they hope stays in the new proposal.
KCBD News Channel 11's Brittany Crittenden was at that meeting. She joined us now in the studio with items that may be at risk. Brittany?
Well, Karen and Abner, City Manager James Fisher printed off copies of the ordinance for everyone at the meeting tonight, and he actually highlighted some items that immediately caused concern during meetings with the Penny Newman Granary, ADM, and cotton farmers and ginners. He says not everyone is going to get what they want, but they're trying to find a happy medium.
We're not trying to shut anybody down. We don't want to see Penny Newman shut down or any of the cotton farmers, peanut farmers. We just want the problem cured. We want our lives back.
After hearing what would hurt the agribusiness industry in Levelland, city leaders wanted to hear from their citizens. Kaufman Addition resident Stan Lee says the red flower beetles aren't gone, they're only dormant and will be back next year if something doesn't change.
Most of those commodities are homegrown. The almond hulls are not. They're imported from California. The homegrown commodities have never been a problem. Many years they've been here. It's 2 years ago when Penny Newman started importing those almond hulls that it became a problem.
City Manager James Fisher says the city is still trying to determine whether it can regulate what types of commodities come into city limits. He says it was Levelland farmers and ranchers who asked for the almond hulls to be brought in because the drought has forced them to find an alternative to cottonseed for their livestock feed.
I think what we're initially seeing and hearing is we can't regulate the types of commodities in them.
Some of the items at risk for removal on the proposed ordinance include regulations on pest management plans at each company. Fisher says businesses have explained they already have certain protocols for each commodity and each pest, so a blanket regulation wouldn't help. The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service also wants its name removed from the ordinance. Fisher says whether commodities can be stored open air is still up for discussion. One thing that's looking more solid is the use of traps to monitor pest populations.
What we know in this ordinance, we're trying to keep traps in there so that if we see the counts rising, we can be more proactive in moving and saying, we got a problem here and we need to start looking at what can be done to fix it.
Some citizens even gave suggestions about how to help until all of the beetles die off.
They have to have a big cleanup over there. All the trash in the alleys, all the lawns need to be scouted. All the stuff needs to be cleaned up to help that.
Fisher says they're also having to monitor how this ordinance will work within the boundaries of the recently passed Right to Farm Act, which protects agribusiness in city limits if it's not a threat to public health. He says some good has come through this process, though.
If there's one shining star through this, is that we've established communications.
Fisher says they want to get this right more than just get something done. His goal is to get an ordinance before the council in January. He says when a new draft is available, it'll be posted on the city's social media and website. Karen and Abner.
Thank you, Brittany.